Yes,
Cheers, brother. Thank you for having me.
absolutely. Well, you're a market expert and you're a friend of mine, and I wanted to have you on this morning. Good to see your face, by the way.
Ditto.
It's
Ditto.
looking pretty good too for all the work I know you've been putting in.
I got to open my eyes a little bit here. But
It's good to see you this morning. So, how are you doing? How's the family? How are things going?
everybody's tired here. So we're not shut down. We're coming into the office. We have two offices. We are just working, trying to clear out the glut of all the loan applications we've taken in the last 60 days. This is the most loans we've ever as a company had going at one time.
Wow. No doubt. So I know you're a market expert. That's why I wanted to see you do your thing this morning, because nobody puts out more information than the FCF team. How is the market doing right now? Fill us in. What's it doing?
It's volatile. I mean, it is really hour by hour. So what we see right now from our end, from what we're trying to do is get everybody in line to go. And then when the market opens up that morning, we get maybe a half hour or an hour before it changes again.
Wow, up and down. So it's looking like a roller coaster right now, is what you're saying?
Total roller coaster.
Okay, we're going to put our hands up right now. But
Woo!
I know if there's any team out there to handle such a roller coaster, you guys are the pros at this. So what are like, I know things are changing right now. Everything's changing for all of us. What are the expectations on even turn times right now? What is it? Is it taking longer for loans?
Yeah, everything's taking a little bit longer. This batch that we're pushing through, we're getting done in about 30 days. I anticipate that's going to bump back to about 45.
Mm-hmm.
Still is reasonable.
Yeah.
Everybody's working from home from the lenders. So they're all trying to, when you're together as a unit and as a team, you can move faster and quicker, and you're stronger and you're in rhythm. Now we're just a little clunky, I guess you could say.
Clunky, yeah. Well, we're all making changes to how we're doing business right now, and very quickly. So,
Totally.
what's some new things? I heard some information about drive-by appraisals. Is anything helping the process along right now? Are there any new changes like people need to know about?
So what they're doing, so like if you're refinancing, what we tried to do is if you have a Fannie Mae service loan, we're trying to send your refinance back through Fannie Mae. Or if you have a Freddie Mac service loan, back through Freddie Mac. If you have a Ginnie Mae service loan, back through Ginnie Mae. This will either we're going to get an appraisal waiver, meaning one does not need to be done at all, or we're going to get an exterior drive-by, which helps avoid the appraiser coming into the home, trying to keep the virus down and not spreading.
That's awesome. Is that a strategy that you guys are implementing as far as being able to streamline things by having access to these variety of products for your clients, that you can put them back to their original servicer so they can go smoother? That's something you guys are doing, or is that industry wide?
You know what? It's going to be lender specific. So what we have the ability to do is I get to pick where I go as a broker.
Right.
So not all places get to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in a good spot where the reason I'm in this spot after doing this for 25 years is to be able to provide the best service for the consumer and do what's right for them. Not everybody has that, but it definitely is an advantage right now. That's one of the positive things coming out of this nightmare that we're experiencing right now. That part's good.
Yes, and let's talk about some of the more nightmare for just a second. People not being able to possibly making a decision to make their mortgage payment, with some people that have unfortunately lost their job. What's the deal on all this mortgage forbearance that I'm hearing about, and what's the real skinny on that? What do people need to know about that one?
All right, so make your payment if you can make your payment. First off, I want you to keep your credit in pristine shape. You're going to need your credit over the next 1 to 2 to 3 forever years. So once your credit score starts dipping, it's harder to get it back up. So first thing is find a way to make the payment. Second thing is, if you're active on your payments, meaning today is April 1st, let's say you've made your March 1st payment and now you're coming into April and feel like you're struggling to make that payment, this is where the servicers have been told through the stimulus package that you can get a forbearance. You can not make your April payment, your May, your June. But what we're seeing at the end of those 3 months is they want a lump sum. They want the 4 payments due. They want April, May, June, and July's due at that. That's just too much for anybody to bite off. So
right, 100%.
Now we have another small group who are already behind on their payments. Those are the folks whose credit's already been dinged. Those are the folks that can call their servicer for a modification to their note or a deferment to their note and push the payments to the back of the mortgage. Yes, it'll cost more interest over the long haul, but it'll buy some time for them during this hardship. Now, we don't like to see that, obviously, but that is, that's going to happen in this environment. We know it.
Yeah,
so,
it's a different,
no matter what they do.
It's a different environment. Yeah, no matter what they do. So I also want to know, what do people do right now? Is it a time to purchase? Is it a time to refinance? You said, we hear a lot about rates. We heard some misinformation about rates. Like, what's the deal with rates? Is it the time to purchase or refinance right now?
Okay, so the purchase activity has completely dropped off the map 2.5 weeks ago. The realtors that I speak with every day, they're dead slow. We do have a couple transactions trickling through. These are folks that they're either transferring in, they still have their job, they're not even worried about the virus entering their world. They don't have children that they need to move school districts. They're a little bit easier to move. But that's just, let's just call it what it is. The purchase market has absolutely stopped in its tracks because of the fear going on. Is it a good time to buy? We're going to probably see maybe some values flattening instead of rising and or possibly declining here over the next 6 to 12 months. So there's going to be some opportunities depending on your market to go in and find a property that you might deem that works for your situation. Refinances, now that's the big deal right now. That's the heavy push. So what we do here at First Commerce is we load you into our system, and then every month you're getting an email from us that says, here's the value of your home, here's the principal balance left on your mortgage, here's the current rate you're at, here's the target rate that we're shooting to get to. And once you get close to that target rate, we're reaching back out to you and we're running Excel spreadsheets showing you break-even periods if you go from 4% to 3% or 5% to 4.25. If you want to take cash out and consolidate debt, we're going to show you the debt you're borrowing at what rate versus if you put it into the mortgage. So we have folks who are sitting on the highest equity position we've ever seen with some of the lowest rates we ever have seen. So there's incredible opportunity for folks to lower their payment, consolidate debt, lower their term, just get themselves into a better position. That's what's going on right now. Mm-hmm. There's a lot more to that, but that's kind of like just a basic version of what we're doing right now.
Well, what's best about you guys, amongst a lot of things, is that you will create a financial plan. Like, you really create strategies for your clients so that they can make the best decision for their specific situation, because it's not all cookie cutter for everybody. So what do people need to get you guys to be able to see this financial education of where they need to do a rate or term, or they need to change their interest rate? How do they get what they need to you so they can look at that and get educated?
Sure. It's easy. They can text, email, Facebook message a snapshot of their most recent mortgage statement. That allows us to get started, get them plugged into the system, and it opens up a conversation of, okay, tell me about what your plans are. What are you thinking, Ryan? How long are you going to stay in the home? Do we have kids that are going to be entering college? Are you going to be downsizing? Tell me what's up, and then we're going to put your target in there based on the information that you're giving us. And then we just watch it every day. We're hawking it. And we're going through this huge list, sorting it by target rate.
Right.
It's interesting. It's fun. The conversations are wild. We have a lot of people thinking a lot of different things right now. So
Sure.
our
Yeah.
therapist hat turns on. We're like a therapist.
That's why I wanted to get you on this morning, because I know that you've got, I mean, you're at the front lines, you're up to date, you know what's really going on in the industry right now. So you can come to you as a reliable source. And
That's why I've stayed in this spot. I don't want to lose touch with the consumer ever. Meaning
yes.
I want to go work for this giant institution where I get to lose the face-to-face, and I've done that before. You know, I spent 3 years in a corporate environment after our last company sold. That was 04 to 07. And that cup of tea is just a different animal. So we're in almost year 13 of this place running. And it allowed, being at the forefront and being right on the front line is where I like to be. That's my sweet spot.
That's awesome. Well, you've given already a lot of good information out there. So, but one more thing I wanted to talk to you about is you mentioned 6 to 12 months. So we see that things are a little wonky in the short term right here. A lot of people I've talked to have had a positive outlook for 6 to 12 months down the road. What is your overall outlook of the future right now in the market?
So my take on this is if you short term, meaning second quarter, April, May, June, this is going to be a tough quarter for us, for everybody, just to stomach through, because we're going stir crazy, right?
Right.
And we're scared to go out and buy something. So we expect purchase activity to stay low through the second quarter, maybe even the third. But then I expect, as everybody gets back to it, it's going to ramp up, and it's going to be hot and heavy for years. Meaning there's so much pent up demand to buy from our millennial folks that are now getting to the point in their careers or the stage of life where they're procreating and they're creating families, and they need the safety of having a home underneath their family's head, just like you and I are going through right now. That's what's pent up. We're going to come out of this, and it's going to be off to the races. But for between now and the next 24 months, I anticipate a heavy, heavy refinance volume, where the more you can take that mortgage statement and get it over to me, the more we're going to go to work for you, the consumer, to make sure you're armed and up to speed with what opportunities become available. There's going to be waves of this thing over the next 24 months where rates will come down, and then we got to get all the inventory pushed through the system. So rates will go back up. As we close it, rates will come down again.
Yes.
I'll push through, because you can only push so much through the system because of the staffing of these organizations. And I'm not going to get into the liquidity issue in this. That's a different subject.
That's for another coffee, for sure.
Unless you need me to go there right now, I will.
You guys staying hydrated. I see you've got the FCF flask. Yes.
We're crushing those big water jugs like it's going out of style.
You got to do it. You got to stay hydrated.
You do. What else do you want to know? What else are you thinking?
Well, man, we got a great amount of content to put out there, because this message needs to get spread. I mean, people like you on the front lines, we've got to hear more from you as what's going on in our local market. Where are you? Where are you right now?
So I'm in Lakewood Ranch, Florida, Sarasota, Florida. We lend in California, Michigan, Arizona, and here, Florida.
Yes.
We have 2 offices here in Florida. So we work with Milestone Title. They help us on all of our refinance transactions, and they just do an incredible job. Tony's a great guy. Love speaking with him and working with your staff. Easy breezy from our part. You guys are working just as hard as we are. Just makes it a little bit easier when you know you're in the fight together with somebody, going to bat with you.
We're working together. We appreciate you working with us a lot. So thank you. I think that's all for Coffee Talk this morning. That's a great message for the audience there, man. You guys get back to work. And of course, if you need me or us, give me a shout.